On this vote, the yeas are 320, the nays are 91. The bill is passed. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid on the table.
Welcome to King Josiah TV, where this channel was created to educate, promote the kingdom of Jesus Christ in this world. I am your host, Josiah Hill. And before we get started on today's episode, I need you guys to do me a favor. Go ahead, and if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go and hit that follow button. And if you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and give me that subscribe button. Let's get into it.
Watch giants fall like Goliath. David, I dance. This ain't no tick-tock. God told me that my steps was ordered. Walking in flip-flops. Chris Rock, how they laughed at me.
Podcast, guys, is gonna be there was a bill that's being passed or was passed by the Republicans that has a large chance to take away the rights that we have to speak about the Bible and making the New Testament, a lot of the scriptures in there, illegal. Now, and a lot of you have probably heard about this. I recently heard about it less than a few days ago on TikTok. It dropped. And then I was reading articles and things like that were coming out. And pretty much what it is saying is, well, I'm going to pull it up here in a second, but I'm just going to give you guys a quick brief before we actually read the actual article. Pretty much they're using anti-Semitism and the killing of Jesus to pretty much say that that's anti-Semitism, which takes away our freedom of speech. But we know as kingdom citizens of Jesus Christ, we are not going to be quiet. No, regardless of what they try to censor us and put us down, that's not going to stop us from speaking. We knew that these times would come. The Bible foretelling of these times that would come. So I'm going to bring this up on the screen and we're going to read it. So this is the Newsweek report on this. So pretty much the start of the article says Republicans voting for the bill that can make the Bible illegal. It outrages. So one second here. So pretty much MAGA conservatives voice outrage I don't know why they say MAGA. I feel like every time they try to use MAGA is like to try to put that to every Republican, everybody that's like Christian, you got to be MAGA, which I think is ignorant. But anyways, let's read the article. It says MAGA conservatives voice outrage in congressional Republicans voting for Anti-Semitism Awareness Act covering concerns that it could make the Bible illegal. Congress on Wednesday passed the bill, which will require Department of Education to use International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance (IRA) working definition of anti-Semitism, which is enforcing anti-discrimination laws. It's come as colleagues across the United States have sent Palestinian protests that critics say that times have allegedly veered into anti-Semitism. I'm all for protecting, Jewish people and no anti-Semitism. I mean, who would be against that? But when you further read this bill is something that they're using to weaponize. And that's been since, even if it's been going back since when Jesus was killed, and people foretelling the story, people have always kind of tried to use that as a straw man, in my opinion, to pretty much say that the Jews killed Jesus, and that is a part of the story. And I believe that the enemy is trying to cover that up and use that as a tactic to try to pull away from the gospel and take the gospel away from people, and pretty much demonize and say that it's almost hate speech to talk about this, to say that the Jews killed Jesus. So let's keep reading. Anti-Semitism is a certain prescription of Jews, which may expressed as hatred towards Jews. Heretical physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and their property towards Jewish community, institutions, and religious facilities. And definition reads: the bill drew bipartisan criticism, with both Democrats and Republicans voting against it. Critics argue the bill, if signed into law, stratifies free speech that is protected by the U.S. Constitution and is overbroad in definition, anti-Semitism promoting to the definition of including, claiming that the existence of the state of Israel is racist endeavor. Ultimately, 91 members of Congress voted against it. So there was a large amount of people that voted against this in the House. I'm actually surprised something like this went through, because like you said, it just seems like their blanket statement blanket statementing one thing to try to protect a certain party, but then disregarding with the many people and the many things this could affect on the back end. It seems like most people got that. That's why I'm surprised it actually went through. So some conservatives are taking an issue with the bill over the HRA definition of anti-Semitism, including claims of Jews killing Jesus or blood, blood label, arguing that it could mean that parts of the Bible would now become illegal because the whole gospel of Jesus Christ is about him being killed, is about him being brought to Pilate, is about them bringing them to the Jewish leaders at the time, that were the Jewish religious leaders at the time, that brought him to Pilate because of, him claiming to be God, which was incited by the Jews, and the Jews made that decision to take Barabbas instead of taking Jesus. Everybody knows the story, but that is the story of the gospel. You cannot tell the gospel with taking that out. And so in saying this, and what was saying is, if you were to take this out, you would take away parts of the gospel, and saying that parts of the gospel are illegal to talk about. That part of history is illegal, is anti-Semitism. It's preaching hatred towards a group, which anybody that's ever heard the gospel, anybody that's ever read the Bible is never preaching hatred towards Jews. I think that's stretching the truth, and as well, it's creating a narrative that's false. While the definition of the bill does not clarify the idea that Jewish people were involved in killing of Jesus and anti-Semitism, it does not make the bill illegal. The bill's text states that it would require educational departments to take into consideration the definition of anti-Semitism as part of the department's assessment whether to practice the motivated by anti-Semitism intent when investigating allegations anti-Semitism discrimination at the colleges. So that's pretty much majority of it. I think I'm going to read just this last part. I know this is a lot, guys. I'm this last part, and then we're going to get into some scripture on this. But I want everybody to get the full context of this, because I think a lot of people online have been hearing this bill that's going to come out and didn't really read all the way through. They just kind of jump to their own conclusions and jump to what they think it is. And I think when you really do have to, when things go on in our government, you do really have to read them all the way through. You have to really do your due diligence and not just hear what somebody said online or hear what the snippet was in the title of the of something that was put out by a news media outlet. So let's just finish this up, guys, and we're going to get into some further context on it biblically. Concerns about the bill make the Bible illegal were shared by high-profile conservatives. Did the House of Representatives just make parts of the Bible illegal? Posting conservatives, contemporary Charlie Kirk to X, which is formerly known as Twitter. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene posted, "Anti-Semitism is wrong, but I will not be voting for Anti-Semitism Awareness Act of 2023 today that could convict Christians of anti-Semitism and believing in the gospel. Says that Jesus was handed over to Herod to be crucified by the Jews. Congress votes to make this." My page keeps flipping all these ads. "The Bible is legal as hate speech, and I guess I'll see you in jail," wrote Lauren Wazinski, a former Republican Senate candidate in Delaware. And guys, who wouldn't? Who's somebody that's people might say, "Oh, that's extreme. Nobody's going to put you guys in jail over that." But everything that's going on in the world today, how everything is moving, it's moving towards demonizing Christianity, demonizing anybody that believes the gospel, anybody that preaches the gospel. You are looked at as if you hate people that don't believe in the gospel. You hate people that are sinners, and you hate people that don't live that life. It's being preached, it's being shown. You can go on any social media page, any news outlet page, and it's even just sitting at the water cooler with people that and you bring up that you're a Christian, and there's a bad stigma that's put all over you that you are a hateful individual, that you come down on people. And again, this is what this narrative is creating and pushing towards what the Bible has already talked about, that in these last days. And I think as Christians, we have to really, during these times, really stay prayed up, really stay close to God. The enemy is going to attack us in ways that we were not attacked prior. He's going to attack your home. He's going to attack your emotions and things that you've dealt with sin. And it's going to attack you at a whole nother level in these years. That's what I believe at this time and point. We need to stay prayed up, fasted up, and continue to chase after God and keep him in our corner. because the world is going to come after us. We're going to need the strength of God to withstand that, because it's going to come a time and point where it's going to be hard to say that you're a Christian. And when it's going to be something that's not easy to just say, because they're going to either put you in jail. It's going to get to the point where they're going to kill us. It's going to get to that point. I know I sound crazy. I know I sound like an extremist, but this is a reality. Jesus said they will hate you for my name's sake. And we're coming to that time in 2024 where things are starting to come to head. And I believe in my lifetime, I may see some of these things come to pass. I hope that God shields me from that and I don't experience all those things. But if I do, that be the glory unto the kingdom of God, that I be persecuted for those sort of things. And I wouldn't stop preaching the gospel over.
Salvation on me like it's a helmet. The wages to sin is death, for send you to hell quick. Wanted to be all about me, God, I was selfish.